My name is Paul Dorr. I am a director of engineering design with a local traffic engineering and transportation planning firm. My task was to review the corridor for safety issues and make recommendations. What I'd like to do first is point out a lot of good things that the corridor has. We have a lot of great signage for schools. We have left turn lanes where they actually need to be. We have existing bike lanes, which they are in demand these days. Let's see, we have center left turn lanes where we need them to allow for vehicles to turn, and again, bike lanes. And as we approach Beachfield, we have existing flasher westbound, and we have existing pedestrian signs at the school crossings. And in the other direction, westbound, we have an existing flasher. This is looking eastbound at the signalized intersection in front of the school. And the great thing about this intersection is the city has installed what's called an all-red phase. So as the crossing guards out here assisting students and pedestrians crossing, this signal is all red for a good amount of time to make it a safer intersection. So that's a great thing that's already in place. One thing we do need to make recommendations for is pedestrian crossing, school crossing signs at this location pointing down to make it more visible for approaching vehicles in both directions. I reviewed the ADA crosswalks all up and down the corridor, and I give the city an A+. They came out, they adjusted them all, they're all within ADA requirements. They have the proper person, let's see, what do they call it? They basically allow blind people to feel that they're at the edge of the curb at the corner. One of the issues that were pointed out, and it's my understanding that as you drive eastbound along Frederick Avenue in the morning peak, traffic backs up from Hilton for quite a distance. And what we like to do is recommend to the city, and we've talked to the city, that they review the existing timing of the signal. And what they'll do is if they can steal any time from Hilton and allow that time to be put onto Frederick Avenue, that would actually help this traffic flush out. So we currently have morning peak hour restriction on parking, and we have evening peak hour restriction. And we're also talking with the city if they can possibly review the traffic volumes. Unfortunately, for retail, the average daily traffic is low, but what's good for safety is the cars, we do have low traffic volumes. So that'll present an opportunity where we can review the peak hour restrictions on parking and actually make recommendations to remove that. So you'll be allowed to park, retailers will be allowed to park in that PM peak where it's maybe 4 to 6. The city will come out and make maintenance. There are some current issues with push-button signs that are currently faded, and some existing parking restriction signs that are faded, which will allow people to park beyond where they're supposed to park. Crosswalks are faded, but one of the things that we like to do and create more of a pedestrian area is we like to come in and do decorative stamped concrete type crosswalks. And what that does, it really presents a pedestrian feel, and it makes it more visible to approaching cars. Here's a good example of some that have been installed in other locations. Again, it's not real brick, it's a cheaper application where they stamp and detail the crosswalk. These dots represent where we would like to come in and bump out the existing sidewalk. And I have some examples of that. So you have your parking and you have your bike lane, but what we would recommend is that we put this little piece here that actually reduces the amount of distance that a pedestrian would have to walk across the street, making it safer. And this actual bump out would actually work as a traffic calming device, even though it's not in the street, but just the narrow road helps slow down cars. Here, this example has a bump out, but it also has Baltimore City and other locations have actually gone out and painted the bike lane green. And what that does, it makes the bike lane really stand out, and again, it gives the vehicles the thought that the road is more narrow than it actually is. It makes it a little slower. One of the things that, again, we met one-on-one and we met in groups. One of the main things that occurs along the corridor is the loitering. And what we're recommending is wherever we can, working with the business owners to install loitering signs, where at least that gives the police opportunity where if they come out and folks are hanging out in front of the stores or on the corners, it gives them an opportunity while the sign's posted to push folks away. And, and they can just come out and actually push folks away versus needing to be called. A lot of folks made comments about the bus route. It's my understanding, and I actually downloaded this today from the MTA website, that buses going westbound make a left on the Yale and they come back to Frederick Avenue on Beachfield, and then in the reverse direction. So it's most likely the bus did continue down Frederick Avenue, but at one point someone made a decision to say, let's go through the community and we can, basically maybe pick up more patrons. But a recommendation would be that we bring the buses back to Frederick Avenue, and that in turn would actually bring the community up to the retail, up to the main street, and provide, again, bus routes for those trying to get to and from. And that's mine. And for those that I did talk to, there's other issues that didn't make it to the presentation. Those things are on my list. I just didn't want you to panic. Thank you.